Good morning or good afternoon, second graders. This is Mr. Paul. This is our first social studies lesson. And we're going to talk about in our very first lesson what a family is. Let me show you a sentence stem. A sentence stem looks like this. I wrote a couple of words, but I want you to finish it. My sentence stem says, a family is. I want you to do some brainstorming to think about all the things a family is. What do you think of? You're probably thinking about people. You might be thinking about things that people do for each other in families, maybe how they feel. What makes a family? So one thing you're going to do today is try to finish this sentence. But I'll tell you something. You could decide to write it, or you could tell your learning coach what all the things that you think a family is. Alrighty? I have a couple of poems that I want to read. I don't know why I'm talking to you with my glasses off. I can't read without my glasses. Glasses on, Mr. Paul. I have some poems about families that I'm going to share with you. They're very short, but let's listen to these poems and see if they give us some ideas. My first poem is called I Wouldn't Miss It. I kind of like having this light up here. The lines are kind of fun, but listen carefully to my poem. I'm always in the kitchen when mother's there to bake, because I like to watch her spreading frosting on the cake. She does it very quickly. It hardly takes a minute. And then she lets me lick the bowl that had the frosting in it. I have another poem. This poem is called Our Grandmother. Listen to this one. See if there's anything the same or different compared to what I just read. Here we go. Our grandmother. Our grandmother bakes, she doesn't break, she bakes homemade bread and is very handy with needle and thread. She lets out hems and darns and patches, sets the pills up high and hides the matches. She corrects our grammar, that's the way we speak. She calls good manners art. She knows Bible stories by heart. She grows African violets in a dozen pots, babysits us lots, and likes us a lot. Let's do one other one. This is called Sisters. Listen to this one. My sisters scold me every day about my hair, fingernails, and shoes. And they declare that they'd rather not be seen around me. I ask you now, is that the way they ought to be? But when I fell and hurt my knee, you'd be amazed how jolly good they were to me. They even praised the way that I didn't cry and stuff or bother Dad. So all in all, I guess that sisters aren't bad. So that was that. Let me see, my good friends. What I want to talk about now is, I'm looking for it. Well, I have some big ideas for us. My big ideas are like this. My number one big idea that I want to tell you about families is a family is made up of people who love and take care of each other. My second big idea is families help people meet their basic needs. Let's hit the brakes about that, okay? So, I want to talk about basic needs, but just to remind you, a family, we said, is a group of people who love and take care of each other. So that's pretty important. Did I get that in there? But now I want to talk about basic needs. Basic needs are things people need to have to live. I want to teach you the 3 basic needs, and the way we're going to do that is you're going to mirror me. When I say mere words, you say mere words and copy my gestures. Let's try that. Mere words. Now, after I say mere words, I'm going to say things in gesture, and you try to copy me. Here we go. Mere words. We have 3 basic needs. We need food. See, I'm making an eating gesture. We need clothing, and we need shelter. Those are our 3 basic needs. See if you can do that on your own. Or you can do it with me. Yeah, let's do it one more time. Why not? We have 3 basic needs. We need to have food, clothing, and shelter. We need our basic needs to live. Okay? That was our one of our big ideas. Now, we said that basic needs are all things people need to live that include food, clothing, and shelter. But you want to know something? Your families don't make all that stuff. We live in a place called a community. Our community or our city is Grand Rapids. But in Grand Rapids, there's little neighborhoods where you can go to get your basic needs. There are places near where you live where your family can get food, and places where they can get clothing and shelter. Now, here's what I would like you to do, my good friends. I would like it if you could get a piece of paper and make 3 columns. Columns go up and down, and write food, clothing, shelter. I want you to think and write or draw 3 places, now I said places, where your family gets food. 3 places where they might get clothes, and 3 places where they might get shelter. So let's think about that. Well, in our community, if you ever want to see Mr. Paul, go to Meijer. I'm always at Meijer's getting food there. But that's not the only place I get food. I might go to a restaurant. If you write down a restaurant, give me the name. Don't just say restaurant. Where do you go? Do you go to McDonald's? Do you go to City Barbecue? I don't know. Pizza Hut? There's other ways to get food too. Mr. Paul has a little garden and I grow cucumbers. This year I've grown about 25 of them. Almost every day I was eating a cucumber, and I like them. There's also farmers markets. There's other places to get food. You can get food in your school. Did you know that some of us eat 2 meals in school? Breakfast and lunch. You can get food at school. What about clothing? Well, I could get it at Meijer. Maybe you go to a mall. Sometimes people can make clothes. I have gotten Goodwill clothing for my children when my boys were young and just really hard on their clothes. I'd get it from Goodwill. And sometimes people in my community would give me a bag of clothes, and that's called hand-me-downs. They were done with them, and they gave me the clothes so that I could use them for my kids. And what about shelter? You might have a house, there might be a home, people live in trailers. Sometimes people stay with grandparents or friends or aunts or uncles. There's lots of different places to get shelter. If I need a short-term shelter, I might go to a hotel or a motel. Sometimes if you're camping, shelter might be a tent, as long as it's not really cold outside. So there's different things. I would like you to do this. Now let's review really quickly. What's our big idea? Well, I wanted you to finish that sentence stem. At least tell someone what a family is. And when you're talking about what a family is, I hope you mention people. And also mention that families help you meet your basic needs. Food, clothing, shelter. But when I started, I read you some poems too. Glasses off. This is an important point. Families do meet your basic needs, food, clothing, and shelter. But in those poems, we found something else. And my thing just fell over. I'm sorry about that. The important thing is that our families give us this, and that is love. You guys have a good day. Thank you.